Mr. C.K. Nandakumar, Senior Advocate, High Court of Karnataka. Mr. C.K. Nandakumar, an esteemed legal professional with distinguished career in law and arbitration. He is an alumnus of the National Law School of India, University, Bangalore. Mr. Nandakumar was designated as Senior Advocate by the High Court of Karnataka in the year 2021. Mr. Nandakumar leads the law chambers of C.K. Nandakumar, a prominent firm specializing in commercial litigation, domestic and international arbitration, and corporate and civil disputes. His practice encompasses a wide range of legal matters, including civil and commercial suits, regulatory issues, shareholder disputes, corporate insolvency, and white-collar crimes. Additionally, Mr. Nandakumar serves as an arbitrator, reflecting his expertise and neutrality in conflict resolution. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, United Kingdom, a certified arbitrator from the Indian Institute for Arbitration and Mediation, and a member of INSOL International. Notably, he was chosen for the ICC Advanced Arbitration Academy for Asia and serves on the Indian Advisory Committee for the International Center for Dispute Resolution. Mr. Nandakumar's contribution to legal scholarship includes roles as a contributor editor for C.R. Datta's commentary on the company law and as a contributor to the international construction contract law. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the brief introduction of today's guests who have graced the occasion. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the achievements and the contributions our honored guests have done to this society. It is a privilege to have them with us today. Now, I will call upon Mr. Rajat, student of KLELC, Bangalore, to give us an overview of what has happened through these 2 days of the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition.
A very good evening to the August gathering. I am Rajat of 5th year of BDLLB, and it is a privilege to present the consolidated report on the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024. 6 competitions ensued over the 8th and 9th of November 2024 at our campus, KU Law College, Bengaluru. The event stands hosted in association with the Center for Environmental Law, Education, Research and Advocacy, NLSIU, and the Department of Justice, Government of India. The primary goal of this competition was to develop and showcase the skills of young legal minds in effective legal dispute resolution with a particular focus on art of conciliation. The event emphasized constructive and peaceful approach to resolving labor disputes, a skill that is becoming increasingly relevant in today's complex labor landscapes. The event began with an inauguration ceremony setting a solemn yet inspiring tone for the competition line ahead. Professor Dr. J. M. Mallikarjuna, sir, our beloved Dean, Faculty of Law, KU Technological University, and Principal, KU Law College, Bengaluru, warmly welcomed the participants and guests, sharing his insights on the role of alternative dispute resolution and how conciliation works in particular, holds immense value in labor law. This ceremony featured distinguished speakers, including Chief Guest Professor Dr. M.K. Ramesh and Guest of Honor Ms. Pooja Prabhakar, Professor Dr. Babugoda S. Patil, and Professor Dr. Sairam Bhatt. Each guest offered valuable perspectives on area and labor law issues, reinforcing the need for empathy, understanding, and mutual respect in addressing labor challenges. Professor Dr. Sairam Bhatt discussed the notable collaborations with the Ministry of Justice, which is aimed at increasing legal literacy among job students. Ms. Pooja Prabhakar highlighted the benefits of conciliation in real-world labor disputes, while Dr. Professor Babugoda S. Patil pointed out the relevance of this competition, especially in the light of global economic shifts. This reflective and insightful inauguration concluded with a vote of thanks to Dr. Anita M.J. Mann, Vice Principal and HOD of PG Department of Law, marking the beginning of 2 days of intensive competition. The conciliation rounds that followed offered an immersive experience for all involved. Each session was structured with participants seamlessly taking roles as conciliators, requesting parties representing employees and responding parties representing employers. We worked through a series of simulated labor cases dealing with pressing workplace issues, including layoffs, wage negotiation, and workplace conditions. These cases were crafted to mirror real-world scenarios, providing participants with valuable experience in managing and resolving disputes that frequently arises in today's workforce. The event comprised of 24 brilliant teams. The preliminary round comprised of 2 sessions. The session witnessed participants tackling the sensitive issue of layoffs due to economic strain, providing an apt platform to demonstrate constructive problem-solving skills. This session underscored the complexities involved in negotiation alongside the importance of patience and persistence. Based on the scores of preliminary round, the top 8 teams qualified further for the quarterfinals. The quarterfinal rounds required the unraveling of a complex confidential information involving the termination of 120 employees due to financial distress and performance-related issues. The employees' union emphasized the need for job security, pay raises, and respect within the workplace, arguing against what they perceived as arbitrary layoffs. Meanwhile, the company defended its decision, citing unavoidable financial constraints and performance concerns. Through dialogue, the parties considered various key points, namely financial distress as a justification for layoff, wage and performance-based structure, union representation, and social security. This concluded the events of day 1. Day 2 commenced with semi-final rounds with top 4 teams. The judges of this round were Dr. N.K. Matoi, Advocate Mallikarjun R.N., Professor Dr. Satish Gowda, and Ms. Rashmi R. In the semi-finals, the team addressed significant labor issues, including pay wages, job security, and grievance redressal. Conciliators LLC 032 and LLC 054 facilitated the discussions with the use of analogies to use both parties in the negotiations. Private caucuses allowed each party to discuss alternate proposals, and both eventually found a middle ground, effectively resolving each issue with guidance from the conciliators. This was followed by an engaging final round between LLC 54 and LLC 60. In the finals, team addressed contemporary labor issues pertaining to gig workers. Team addressed issues like job security to gig workers, probable incentives to gig workers, workshops for enhancement of skills, provisions for grievance redressal mechanisms. Both teams eventually found amicable middle ground and effectively resolved each issue. In conclusion, the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024 has set a remarkable precedent for educational and professional growth in the area of labour dispute resolution. Participants learned firsthand the complexities and nuances of negotiation, gaining a deeper understanding of conciliation as an area tool. By prioritizing fair outcomes that respect both employee rights and employer constraints, this competition reinforced the importance of ADR in labor disputes and highlighted the conciliation as an essential skill in modern legal practice. We extend our heartfelt congratulations to all the participants, and we look forward to seeing you employ these skills to real-world challenges in labor law and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rajan, for preparing the recap of these 2 days. Now I'd like to call upon our esteemed chief guest, a beacon of knowledge and guidance in the field of law, Dr. C.S. Patil, Director of Karnataka Institute for Law and Parliamentary Reforms, Bengaluru, to address this gathering. Sir.
The most respected colleagues on the dais, Professor Suresh V. Nargowda, the unimaginable, energetic principal of this college, my friend Professor J.M. Mallikarjunaya, a very good friend of mine who always initiates first in different fields, right from the inception, Professor Sairam Bhatt, and the new friend I got by coming over to KLE, Mr. Nandakumar, CK, who has excelled himself in the area which is dear to me as an academician. I was teaching ADRs. Then they said, there is alternative legal education, you go retire. I remember a book, Stephen Covey, Third Alternative. Please read that book. This is a wonderful book. In that there is one chapter, Third Alternative at Law. Third Alternative at Law. I will tell you about that a bit later. My good friend, Babagowda Patil, Advocate Nirali, and the young, all smiling Advocate Nitish, our elderly professor who was with us through our journey in academics, Professor K.R. Aikar, and all the distinguished faculty members, all dear participants and students. It is so wonderful to be here for this occasion. First ever conciliation moot in labor laws, and I am really fascinated by this word first. And I have underlined this. With analytical skills, we understand first to me, second, third, fourth will follow. And that's what that motivates me. It is a great gesture on the part of KLE Technology University, Department of Justice, and SERA of National Law School to initiate this exercise. Nobody is at peace. I am a retired professor. I am not at peace at my heart. There is a serving professor. He is not at peace. There is a practicing advocate. Why we have created this situation wherein we do not have peace at heart? And as students, you are in a totally disturbed situation with semester system. That means when we were studying, it was annual, 6 subjects per year. No? We had all the time to go to library and read. Legal education is essentially self-education. If we allow students to go to library, they will excel well. That is our belief. If we confine them to the classrooms, they will be subject to the same limits to which I am subjected. They will inherit only that. There are certain of the means and methods of ensuring peace at heart. Happiness index. The present Honorable Law Minister, Sri H.K. Patil, has put us under an assignment to study the system of Bhutan, which has highest happiness index. There is a small country like this. If they can be happy, why we cannot be happy? Dispute resolution is one of the very important factors to promote happiness in the system, happiness in the society. We tried with arbitration, and by now, these people who are trained in adversarial warfare, they converted arbitration into a warfare. To such a level that central government has issued a circular that government departments should not go for arbitration. Now the emphasis shifts somewhere. And we have to prepare the soldiers of peace. Those who can reconcile. Those who feel that they are under an obligation to reconcile. Bring parties back to the table and resolve the disputes. And these are the people who are called peacemakers. Lord Devlin long back made a statement. The main field of justice is not litigation, it is non-litigation. That was the advice of Abraham Lincoln, that was the advice of Mahatma Gandhi, that is the mandate that is there in Bible also. In all scriptures. When that is the situation, we are happy that we are going back to this situation of dispute resolution. The two teams that came to final, they really performed very well. My only suggestion is add a smiley to that. Okay. Our friend here, yeah. So he did not have a smiley, I gave him a smiley. So now, look at that. Ray, you are there to reconcile. and you have volunteered to reconcile. Hey, you should come like that. That utsaha, that should be manifest. You played the game very well. And those, as it emanates from the report, who have participated in the earlier rounds also have done. The very fact that you have come here and participated itself is winning of a prize. Ultimately, at the borderline, there will be one Surya standing who, by chance or mischance, will catch that trophy. Otherwise, all of you deserve a trophy because this is a new area. You have ventured into it. And I tell you, I have gone through the proposition, I have gone through the rules, and I have gone through the discussion between Mallikarjun Swami and Baba Gowda that went on for 1 hour, 20 minutes. All beautiful. And I am feeling so happy because I got an opportunity to participate in this first ever National Labour Law Conciliation competition, and I will be there for the second also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words and your promise that you'll be here for the second one as well. Now, I would like to request our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Suresh Nadagawa, sir, Registrar and Acting Chief Vice Chancellor of Karnataka State Rural Development and Panchayat Raj University, Gadag, to address our gathering.
Good evening, everyone. Respected chief guests and Director Kilpar, and my great well-wisher, Professor C.S. Patil, esteemed principal, and my dear friend, Professor Mallikarjunaya, another esteemed friend of mine, Professor Sairam Bhatt, Sri Nandakumar, Senior Counsel, my beloved teacher, Professor K.R. Aital, sir, and my other friends, Dr. Baba Gowda Patil, and Jivan Kumar, and other esteemed faculty members of KLE, and dear participants who have come from different parts of the country, and all students of KLE. At the outset, I take this opportunity to thank Professor Mallikarjunaya and Sairam Bhatt for giving me this opportunity, wonderful opportunity, to be part of this program. As you have been already informed, since December 2023, I am out of Law College, as I am working as a registrar and presently as acting Vice Chancellor of Rural Development, Panchayat Raj University. It's really a great opportunity for me to meet all our friends, seniors, and more particularly the law students. And in fact, I'm a professor of labor law, and I also had an opportunity to practice labor law before the labor courts and industry tribunals in the beginning of my career. And also, I have taught labor law for over 25 years after completion of my LLM. And I was also an advisor for 2-3 trade unions way back in '96 after completion of my LLM. So I know the nuances of labor law, the difficulties of the labors particularly, and the managements. And I actually handled the disputes both at the collective bargaining level, conciliation level, as well as at the litigation level. So it's really a great thing to know that the KLE and National Law School and of course Department of Justice, Government of India have come out with this unique program that is the Conciliation in Labor Laws. So indeed,
it is said that even in a well-knit family where love exudes from all the corners, we cannot deny with the disputes. Whereas in industries wherein we have people with different interests, more particularly the employer and the employees. The employer's interest is to make the workers to work hard, make maximum profit, and to keep maximum out of the profit for himself. Whereas naturally the workers, when they work hard, they want to have their due share in the profit. Then it leads to conflict when the workers demands and the employer denies, either totally or partially. So then naturally, under the provisions of Industrial Disputes Act, why I am explaining you this in brief is that I'm sure that many of you in the audience might not have studied labor law so far. So there is a mechanism for resolution of disputes, which we call them as industrial disputes. The disputes between the employer and employees, whom we call them as workmen, employer and workmen. So the first option for resolution of dispute is collective bargaining, that is the opposing parties, that is employer and workmen, to resolve the disputes sitting across the table and through mutual discussions and dialogues, which will not happen many a times. As I have seen the actual happening in the industries during my earlier days in the practice, and under the provisions of Industrial Disputes Act, there is a mechanism that in case of failure of collective bargaining, it is direct negotiation and settlement between the parties, then invariably the matter will have to be taken up by conciliation officers for conciliation, inviting both the parties to conciliation. And many a times, and in majority of the cases, even that also fails, then ultimately it will be referred to government, and government in turn will refer it to labor court or industrial tribunal for adjudication of the case. This is what is the procedure that has been provided or laid down under the provisions of Industrial Disputes Act. And in fact, I had an opportunity to study the functioning of labor courts and industrial tribunals for my PhD program. I did an empirical study, and under the provisions of Industrial Disputes Act, the industrial disputes means the labor disputes are required to be resolved within 3 months in case of dismissal, discharge, retrenchment, etc. And in case of collective disputes, that is a dispute relating to claim of bonus, enhancement of salary, etc., they are required to be resolved within 6 months. But it never happens. Once the matter is referred to labor court, it will take on an average minimum 4 to 5 years. So now I've come to know that the labor courts have been done away with, and the matters are being referred to the Chief Judge Senior Division Court, and you know things very well. Already our courts are very much burdened with so many other litigations, including civil and all other things, and along with this, they are hearing these matters also. So that is where we feel the need and necessity of settlement of disputes through conciliation. Settlement of dispute through conciliation. So unfortunately, all these years, it has not been made popularized, though the conciliation, arbitration, etc. is very well conducted in other disputes like matrimonial disputes, property disputes, and other things. And now it is good that the Government of India, through Justice, Department of Justice, in association with KLE and the National Law School, have come forward to popularize this concept. And it is very much necessary from the point of the poor workers. As you know, it is very difficult for the poor workers, even through their unions, to fight against the rich and wealthy employer. So, resolution of disputes through the process of conciliation has an advantage that both it is a win-win situation for both the parties, both the employer and the employees. So, as the things will take place through the process of discussion and dialogue, though with intervention of an officer who is an independent officer, as you have witnessed here. Okay, so that's why it is considered to be a best method of resolution of the disputes. So as you have witnessed the proceedings here, it's a duty of each and every one of us to popularize this process in resolution of the dispute. So as a judge, I had an opportunity to witness the performance of the participants. It was excellent, and indeed, it was a tough time for the judges to decide the winners and the runner-up. But anyway, a decision has been made. It will be placed before you. So, in fact, as I told you, it was a great day for me, more particularly to be with our legal fraternity. And I once again take this opportunity to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity and to be with you all day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences and adventures in labor law, and also your insights on conciliation. It is my privilege now to invite Mr. Nandakumar CK, Senior Advocate of High Court of Karnataka, a renowned member of the legal fraternity, to address this gathering.
To Harish, Professor Mallikarjunaya, the incredibly dynamic dean of the Faculty of Law. Every time I meet him, I feel more inspired, and I feel that you can do much more with your time. Professor C.S. Patil, whose wisdom is as spectacular as his humility is, for the kind of achievements that he has, one should learn to keep quiet and let your actions do the speaking. He is the best example that I can think of. Professor Suresh Naragowda, who I unfortunately did not have an occasion to meet before today. But in the brief interaction, one can make out the experience that he brings and the erudition that he has. Professor Sairam Bhatt, who I've had the privilege of collaborating with in the past. Other professors and faculty members, my distinguished colleagues from the bar, dear students. It's truly a remarkable privilege for me to be here. I want to share a few points and a few thoughts with you, so please bear with me. As a lawyer, one should always start with the career, so that then nobody can find fault with you and say, look, it is too much time. Having said that, Professor Patil has told us how this is only the first and therefore it should not, definitely not be the last. But he made a few remarks about arbitration. Because I'm an arbitration practitioner, I feel compelled to defend that position slightly, but also partly agree with it. The thing that I notice about arbitration is that I think somewhere we've lost our way. The intention was noble, the execution was excellent. If you take a poll today amongst the students who are present here, so what area of law would you like to get into? Those of you who used to get into dispute resolution, 80+% will say they want to do arbitration. To each one of those 80+% of the students, my advice would always be, please first do trial work. Be it on the labor side, civil side, criminal side, all of that is all right, but please first learn trial work. Arbitration is not some monster with 3 horns. It is a different set of rules, but basically it is trial advocacy. If you are able to master trial advocacy, you can master it. Second, the base principle behind arbitration is that you have an expeditious resolution. But as Professor Patil rightly pointed out, the difficulty has arisen because of all the court interventions. The lawyers are to blame, litigants are to blame, and in part the notification that Professor mentioned, the government is also to blame, because I don't say, whether it's the BJP government or Congress government, are not getting into the politics of it. But the important point is, with many construction contracts in particular, what was happening was that contractors would simply not get paid because the persons who have to pass the file would always be worried that please go get an award and come. Once the award comes, there is a compulsion to challenge it. And so it became a never-ending process. It was almost as if one is compelled to go into litigation after having exhausted arbitration, which is really what the beauty of conciliation is. The beauty of conciliation is that you are able to resolve the dispute fully, finally, and walk away. But just look a little at the origins of what you're looking at, the problem and the competition we're at today. It is a labor law conciliation. Now, the origins of labor law have a liberal or a left liberal leaning origin. There is a very famous saying that in your 20s, if you are not liberal, you have no heart. And in your 30s, if you are still a liberal, you have no brain. You may agree with it or not, but the point is that you have to always remember that there is a human element to conciliation. There is a human element to labor laws. Somebody's livelihood is at stake. The utilitarian principle that J.S. Mill and others have expounded about the greatest good for greatest number comes to the fore here. As students, and I'm one of the privileged few, perhaps in this hall, who had many interactions with Professor Madhavan, who founded the National Law School. As a student, he kept telling us about social engineering. What Professor Patil indicated today is not too far off the mark at all. It is pretty much the same thing that he was telling. Unfortunately, when Professor Madhavan was telling us when we were students about social engineering, we didn't really understand what he meant. I mean, we thought we understood it, but 5 years later, once we started practicing, we realized actually we had not understood what he was saying. What he was saying had a much more profound meaning. This thing that Professor Patil also mentioned, please read, keep it in your mind. What happens often is that when you read at a certain age, let's say you're 18, 20, 23, 24, you understand it with a certain perspective. But if that knowledge stays in your head, if those thoughts stay in your head, and you're able to relate to your experiences with that reading, the impact it can have on you is immense and magnificent. I have had the privilege and the good fortune of being able to cash in on reading with experience, and I'd like to think it makes one wiser. I can't speak for myself, somebody else should. But I think really that is a summary of what all of them are trying to tell you. Now, coming to the competition. I was for a minute about to suggest that somebody should offer the trophy to me instead of the beautiful flower pot that was given. But now you would ask me, why should it be given to me and not to, say, Professor Patil or to someone else? This is where your ability to reach a negotiated settlement comes in. And there is something more to a conciliation or a negotiated settlement. What happens with a conciliation or a negotiated settlement is that you are no longer in the court system at all. You are out of the judicial system. It is a full settlement. It is a completion of the process, and you are out of the system. Often you may ask, look here, if I am a practicing lawyer, if I am encouraging my clients to settle, then what would happen to me? How would I earn my fee? Then I would need the benefit of labor laws for my own livelihood. My answer to you is, please don't worry. What you do, the good that you do will come back to you tenfold. I had the privilege of working under the tutelage of Mr. Uday Hulda, former Advocate General of Karnataka. And he used to dissuade some clients who would come and say, sir, I want to file a case against my neighbor, I want to file a case against my sister, I want to do this, I want to do that. He would often dissuade clients by using a very nice sign, and I'm going to share that with you. He would say, please remember, a lawyer will fight till the last drop of your blood. See, this is such a wonderful way of dissuading somebody from litigating, from being in a dispute. Your intention should always be to try and see that the matter is resolved, the matter is settled. If it doesn't get settled, please fight to the best of your ability. But always keep that window of opportunity open. You be kind to your opponents. You be courteous. There is no reason for you not to be. Don't make that personal about yourself. That is the reason you're a lawyer. You'll have to keep that distance between you and the client, between you and the dispute. That is when you can advise a client objectively. That is when you can tell the client, look here, I think these are the weaknesses of your case, these are the plus sides of your case. Let me tell you, and I'm sure my good friend Mr. Nehruji is here, he'll also confirm. There is no such thing as a cast iron case. It is, if somebody tells you have a slam dunk case, you will win this case. Well, You are an astrologer, not an advocate. That's all I can say. Therefore, please be mindful of this. I am going to take a detour from what I'm telling you and offer a minute's unsolicited advice to some of the younger students here. In fact, Professor Patil and I were just quickly discussing this. When I was a student at National Law School of here in Nagarwadi, not too far from here, this area used to be a forest. I have come trekking here. And when I say here in this, there's something Kaval area, I forget the name of the place, we come there trekking. I have seen rabbits. We would not get a proper meal, so we were compelled to eat our hostel food. I was just sharing with my friend. Now there has been progress. What is the effect of that progress? The effect is there is far greater pressure on all of you. What does that pressure compel you to do? You all are desperate for internships, for jobs, for anything that comes your way. But in that process, what he pointed out, please don't forget about the smile that you left. But more than that, what I want to tell you is to please don't forget the attention to detail. This collaborative effort with the National Law School is very commendable. In fact, when I was in National Law School, we were a part of this legal services clinic and we used to collaborate with other law colleges and do these legal literacy programs and so on and so forth. I've always wondered why there is not enough collaboration amongst law universities or law colleges. Obviously, there is more minds need, the better it is. But here, the point I want to make to you is, right or wrong, there is a perception that, say, college X is superior to college Y. I don't quite agree with it. But be that as it may, there is a perception in the general market or the general world. So what do you do about it? The answer is not that you keep running on the treadmill faster and faster and faster and faster. Because there is only so much of a speed that you can generate for yourself. What you need to do is to run smart. You need to be smart about what you do. You need to think about what you do. You need to get some focus and clarity with what you do. Talk to seniors, get some good mentors who will guide you, people who are in the profession, professors who can guide you and give you a sense of what you might like to do. For example, we have somebody here who's done an enormous amount of work in human rights. That's an area you need to have some passion to be able to do. If you ask somebody who's a corporate lawyer in a law firm to do human rights work, it is totally disjointed. So that ability to nurture a younger student is something that you must take the opportunity of doing. I'll tell you why I say so. On an average week, I get nothing less than about 40-50 emails from various colleges and various students asking for internships. Can you not make it a bit of collective bargaining and the entire student community says, all right, there are 50 of us who want internships. 4 of us will write to, say, for example, Mr. Jeevan Neragi, 4 will write to someone else, 2 will write to such and such an office. Is that not a better way of presenting all of yourselves? If every day 3 of you send emails separately, what is the impression that somebody gets? Then, small things. You write to, obviously, somebody who is a male. You say, dear sir, madam, what is the impression that person gets? That you have not taken the care to even read that person's name. You are sending this email, therefore, to 50 people. You are taking a chance. It's a lottery that you are playing. Why should I be the subject of that lottery? I will straight away say no. These are small things. My young friend here addressed his other friend as Mr. Rajat. No, he is either Rajat to you as a friend or he is Mr. Rajat Siddhapurma. You may call him as Mr. Siddhapurma, but if to call him Mr. Rajat, it may not be grammatically correct. These are things you will improve if you start reading good books. And that's an easy fix for you. Please do that. That way, this mental block that you may have, because you read some India Today article which said that your college is 4th and some other college is 1st, will automatically go. That is all that you need to do. Improve yourself in a very easy and organic fashion, and the rest will take care of it. With that, I would only say, Professor Patil alluded to something, and none less than Mahatma Gandhi has said the same thing. All that we need to do is to try and make sure that we adopt this principle of saying that an eye for an eye will make the world blind. That you keep that in mind, you cannot go. And I would just end with the words of Swami Vivekananda, that the national ideals of India are renunciation and service. Intensify her in these channels and the rest will take care of it. So that's all that I can say. I cannot say something greater than what he has said. I'm very grateful for your patience and audience. And thank you again, Professor, for the kind invitation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for insightful thoughts and for encouraging us all to try for excellence in our legal endeavors. Now I would like to call upon Professor Dr. Sairam Vatsar, Professor of Law, Co-Director CIRA and LSIU Bangalore, to give the presidential remarks.
It's quite very odd to give the presidential remark. I think this should go to Professor Mallikarjunaya. However, I think I'm really grateful to the KLU family, the faculty, the students, the EDI committee. They're actually all there, the real people behind this competition. And I was told that, sir, please don't give the vote of thanks, you stick to your role. The vote of thanks is coming. But I think they have done some very incredible work. There's been a real collaboration, a partnership between two great institutions on this side of Bangalore to realize this labor law conciliation competition. It started just with an idea, and to see this day here that it's executed with 24 teams showing interest in this subject is actually quite welcoming and quite refreshing. Friends, let me just say this. And the fact is that we did come to one conclusion that labor law needs revitalization in legal education. And of course, there are various ways in which this can be revitalized. We know that at some point of time, labor law was defocused, sometimes specialization in legal education. There are very tall teachers teaching labor law. But somewhere I think we need to reinvent the wheel on labor law. We need to bring in legal awareness on labor law. Labor law is not a priority right now, unfortunately, either in government or in practice or in specialization. I think we have moved on. But I think while we talk about the reinvention of the wheel, please note labor law has not lost its relevance. It's important to understand why labor law is even critical today. I was talking to Professor Aital, and he just said, Sairam, labor law is lost. There are no longer workers. There are no longer workers. There are only partners. Then he went on to say, no, Sairam, there are no partners. They're only delivering partners. So they just deliver. What do they deliver? We don't know. So I think the way in which labor law has been looked into, or if one may say, there has been deviation from the application of labor law to so many areas. I still remember when Professor C.S. Patil had come to the National Law School in 2001, and I was a very young researcher at CEDA. We had this very interesting debate about how teachers can actually be protected with salaries. And where is the spirit of collective bargaining to actually show that teachers can actually get better pay scale? So there are so many areas where I think there are issues that are relevant for application of labor law. But I think to reinvent the wheel, it's important that labor law probably has to develop into something called employment law. It's important that probably we design a curriculum, we design a jurisprudence that is relevant for the current generation and for the current market conditions. And maybe labor law has to now evolve instead to employment law. Employment law, of course, should have labor interests and labor matter. It should have the spirit of collective bargaining. It should have protection for workers. And of course, wrongful termination should also be actionable per se. So I think with these kinds of ideas taking forward, bringing some platforms such as a conciliation competition is important, because it's not about just a subject of labor law, but also trying to develop an expertise about what a conciliator can do. At one point of time, when C.K. Nandakumar, I had invited him for an arbitration course. I still remember there were a lot of people who came to me after his lecture and said, how can I become an arbitrator? Of course, today, I think most of you should come to us and say, sir, can we also become a conciliator? Because I think this is where some kind of expertise should be developed in terms of looking at your role in the alternate dispute resolution forum. Can there be some kind of a role for lawyers to be conciliators? Or should conciliators be from the non-law background? I think all of these are debates that should be taken forward. And I hope this so-called competition and the efforts that are going to be put towards labor as well as conciliation will help the jurisprudence on employment law. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your brief note on revitalizing labor law. Before the participation certificates are distributed, I would like to call upon Professor Dr. Manoj V. Ramachar to announce a special mention.
Good evening, all. Respected dignitaries on the days of the day, and my dear students and participants. I have been taught by Professor Dr. C.S. Patil the subject ADR. While he taught us ADR, he taught us saying that it is a mixture of both art and science, because a lot of skills are involved and that has to be practiced scientifically. So, in last 2 days, our students have exhibited that skill. They performed the art, and the art critics have assessed it, and they have selected the best artist in that. But for this best artist selection, a script is required. That script was drafted very well by taking into consideration of the issues that are happening around day in and day out. We experience when a food delivery partner comes and delivers a food, even when Bangalore is flooding, even when there is a 39 degrees Celsius temperature, even when the temperature goes below 5 degrees Celsius. So we have experienced their miseries, their problems and difficulties, and that is well identified, and a very beautiful problem statement is drafted by none other than by Mr. Jai Batru, who is the research associate of the National School of India University. So when principal sir called me and said the script should be given appreciation, and principal sir to present this memento to Mr. Jai Batru. So before all artists receive their awards, the script writers should receive the award. I call upon Mr. Jai Batru, and I request Professor C.S. Patil sir to present the memento to Mr. Jai Batru. He deserves a round of applause. Thank you.
This is great. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Now for the distribution of participation certificate. These certificates recognize the hard work, dedication, and enthusiasm that each participant has presented in this competition. To facilitate this, I invite Ms. Julia, Assistant Professor of Law at KUNC Bangalore, to come forward and distribute the certificates.
Thank you, Abish. A very good evening to the August gathering. As we near the conclusion of the competition, let us reflect on the deeper value of participation than merely over the value of victory. In the realm of labor law, where equity, fairness, and justice must always be the guiding principles, each one of you, as participants, have been a pioneer in contributing unique insights to shape the future of conflict resolution. Your dedication to understanding, building consensus, and fostering collaboration is indeed far more important than any trophy. This event's success is indeed defined by your commitment to establishing the fact that the road ahead is one of learning and collaboration, where every effort of goodwill adds value to the cause of securing justice. Now, with great pride, I announce the distinguished participants of the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024. I invite the esteemed dignitaries on the dais to kindly do the honor of handing over the participation certificates. I call upon the team from JSS Law College, Mysuru, comprising of Mr. Abhijit, Ms. Janvi, Mr. Sidhu. The teams are requested to kindly enter the stage from the right. Yes, sir. I call upon team from Presidency University, Bangalore, comprising of Mr. Vaishak, Ms. Muskan, Ms. Ananya. Also call upon the team from Veltech Rangarajan, Dr. Saguntala, R&D Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, comprising of Mr. Srirangam, Ms. Harshini, Ms. Lubna.
Look at the camera.
Call upon the team from Sagar Gangotri College of Law, Shivamoga, comprising of Mr. Vinod, Mr. Pankaj Kumar, Mr. Naveen Kumar. I call upon the team from BMS College of Law, Bengaluru, comprising of Mr. Chandrasekhar, Mr. Nandan, Mr. Arif.
Come here. BMS College of Law. BMS. Sagar Gangotri.
I call upon the team from Manipal University, Jaipur, comprising of Ms. Lubhani, Ms. Shinjini, Ms. Kavya. Call upon team from Manipal Law School, Bengaluru, comprising of Ms. Patil, Mr. Shubham, Ms. Urvi. Calling upon team from Shastra Deemed University, Tamil Nadu, comprising of Ms. Shiva Bhartini, Ms. Pooja, Mr. Patil. I call upon team from Vidya Vikas Institute of Legal Studies, Mysuru, comprising of Ms. Madiha, Ms. Madhumita, Ms. Tasmia. I call upon the team from Vinayaka Missions Law School, Tamil Nadu, comprising of Mr. Arun Kumar, Mr. Ramesh, Ms. Berde. Yeah. Call upon the team from KEGK Law College, Hubballi, comprising of Mr. Manjunath, Mr. Raghavendra, Mr. Karthik. I call upon the team from VIT Chennai, comprising of Mr. Aaron, Mr. Pratham, Mr. Shagir. Call upon the team from Narsi Mondri Institute of Management Studies, comprising of Ms. Amrita, Mr. Venkata, Mr. Jaykumar.
Hello, Chennai. Campus is in Chennai. Yes, please.
On the team from Christ Academy Institute of Law, Bengaluru, comprising of Ms. Shrija, Ms. Nitya, Ms. Ankita. I also call upon the team from Christ Academy Institute of Law, Bengaluru, comprising of Ms. Atreya, Mr. Divyansh, Ms. Arya. From St. Joseph's College of Law, Bengaluru, comprising of Mr. Ramasheshan, Ms. Tanushree, Ms. Shreya. Call upon the team from PES Law School, comprising of Ms. Sadia, Ms. Shama, Ms. Srini Shankar. Finally, I call upon the team from KD Ballad Law College, Belagavi, comprising of Mr. Pawan, Mr. Mahadev, Mr. Baswaraj. Once again, could we all have a huge round of applause for all the participants? Thank you.
Congratulations to all the participants, and we hope that this experience will contribute meaningfully to your journeys. And now it's time to recognize and celebrate the achievements of our top performers. Now I'd like to call upon Ms. Kushi, Assistant Professor of Law at KULCB Bangalore, to announce the winners.
Good evening, everyone. I thank you all for being here today to celebrate not only the hard work and dedication of each and every participant, but also the achievement of these incredible individuals. This is a moment I think we all have been looking forward to. Now, without much further ado, I'll start with the name of the teams who have qualified for the quarterfinals for the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024. So I'll call upon the team from Symbiosis Law School, Hyderabad, comprising of Sai Lalita Harika, Jovita J, Shri Chandana Talasila. I think the team is okay. The next team from Lloyd Law College, Noida, comprising of Roshni Sabuman, Arava Moksha Reddy, and Purab Sanklecha Jain.
Hardly short, they are 3 weeks.
Yes. Next, I'll call upon the team from RLS Law College, Belagavi, comprising of Mr. Ujwala A. Havalda, Mr. Samarth V. Salimat, and Ms. Samiksha Mahadik. Next, I'll call upon the team from Acharya School of Law, Bengaluru, comprising of Mr. Afnan Ahmad, Ms. Sejal Singh, and Mr. Varun Kumar D.
ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯರು
Next, I'll announce the name of the teams who have qualified for semi-finals. First is IFIM Law School, Bengaluru, the team comprising of Miss Ambika R, Shashank Rahul, and Uzwela Khan. Next, I'll call upon the team comprising of Ramaiah College of Law, Bengaluru, the team of Miss Akshata R. Rao, Mr. Saeed Fakan, and Mr. Guru Malimat. Yes. Guru Malimat.
Okay. Yes. And take the first.
Yes.
All the best.
Now, it's the time for the announcement of awards. The award for Best Conciliator for the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024 goes to Ms. Amrita Saranya Chervu from NMIMS Law School, Bengaluru. Along with the cash prize of for rupees 10,000. Congratulations. The next award for Best Counsel goes to Mr. Varun Kumar D from Acharya School of Law, Bengaluru. With the cash prize of rupees 10,000. Now the award for Best Client goes to Mr. Shyama Bhatt from EES University Law School, Bengaluru. With a cash prize of 10,000 rupees.
And the catch prize will be ready.
Now I guess the wait is over. So any guesses for runner-up for the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024? Any guesses? Okay. The runner-up is NMIMS Law School, Bengaluru. The team comprising of Mr. Jay Kumar Gupta, Venkata Kishori Srimalli, and Miss Amrita Saranya Chervu with the cash prize of 15,000 rupees. Okay, the last but not the least, now I'll announce the winner for the first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024. Any guesses? Yes, you are correct. It is the Christ Academy Institute of Law, Bengaluru, and with a cash prize of 20,000 rupees, And the team comprises of Mr. Arya Srivastava as a counsel, Mr. Divyansh Babaria as a client, and Mr. Atray Shukla as a conciliator. Congratulations. Thank you all.
I was telling the earlier of other days. The difference in media and area.
Yes, yes.
Father has tacit effect on you. So nice.
Congratulations to all the winners. Your excellence in this competition has not only elevated the event, but has set a benchmark to our future participants. As we approach the penultimate session of our event, I'd like to call upon Professor Dr. J.M. Mallikarjunaiah sir, Dean Faculty of Law, Principal of KV Law College, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Honorable dignitaries and of the dais, participants, my dear students, and my dear colleagues. The first National Labour Law Conciliation Competition 2024 comes to the conclusion. At the outset, congratulations to all our winners. All the more appreciations and congratulations to all the participants of the event. While the awards and trophies are well deserved, but they get decorated, the shells. Whereas all participants, whatever learning that you are taking from this competition, will help you decorate your professional lives. So I wish all our winners in that sense, decorate your professional lives, not by stopping at this, but by nurturing the learning that you had from this competition. And however, it's a very wise responsibility for me to thank those who assisted in the conduct of this event. At the outset, my heartfelt thanks to SERA National Law School of India University and the Department of Justice, Government of India as the institutions. And my sincere thanks to I express my sincere thanks to Dr. C.S. Patil for having accepted our invitation to judge the final rounds of the competition and also to be the chief guest for valedictory program. My sincere thanks to you, sir. And may I now request Mr. Prasad G. Hiranat to come over with us and present a memento to Dr. C.S. Patil. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Suresh generous acceptance of our invitation to be part of this program and spending such good time with us in selecting the right team to be the winner and also for his words of inspiration on this occasion. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. May I now request Dr. Mantesh to present the memento to Professor Nandakumar. I also extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Nandakumar, CK, for accepting our invitation and inspiring our students about the nuances of the profession, and they must be inculcating as they go. Thank you very much, sir. And now request Mr. Vishnu Prasad to present the meeting to Mr. Nandakumar. Thank you. Joint organizer and the person. Yes, joint indeed, yes. Indeed, yes, without his support and the opportunity that is brought to KDLC family and continuous guidance and involvement in conceptualizing this program and deploying this program. Without his cooperation, it would not have been a reality. Yes, I'm talking about our friend, Professor Sairam, but profound thanks to you, sir. And we have Manoj Kumar Hiremat to present the memento to Sairam, but please. Thank you, sir. It's my responsibility now to acknowledge the presence of advocates, Mr. Jeevan Nirigi, Mr. Malikarjun, Mr. Nitesh, and other innovators. Thank you very much for being part of the progress. My profound thanks to the organizing committee, heads from both organizations. Mr. Jai Bhaktara from SIRA, National Hospital of India University, Mr. Prasad Hiranit and Dr. Mahesh from KDLC and their team. Thank you very much, guys, for the hard work that you have put in realizing this program. I must make a mention of ADR committee and the student volunteers, surrounded by Ms. Dia and Srivatsa. A big thank you and congratulations for having made this program a big success. The center of attraction and who have made this event more meaningful, the participants of National Labor Law Competition 2024. Thank you very much for having taken part and showed that competitive spirit throughout. Thank you. And it's not the end. The professor has given a mandate that the first indicate second is going to come, and for the second, you are going to be there. Thank you. At the end, all invitees and all others who have cooperated in making this event a grand success. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a very pious job. And Jai Bhaktara, who has taken the responsibility and who has also elicited the assistance from young friends. Also want to share the joy of thanking and revering the efforts of those young students who contributed to the success of this event. Thus, over to you, Jai.
Good evening, everyone. I understand it's been a long validity and all of you are rich. Some of you are rich and have got the awards and the patience is very less. I promise I won't take more than 5 minutes. I will begin with one line, since it's a validity. Be the senior you needed when you were a junior. And my guide, my professor, and my boss as well, Professor Dr. Sairam, has been exactly the same in this entire journey. I would like to thank Professor Malikarjun Iyer, Principal KD Law College, for his warm support throughout this entire competition. Whenever we have come with any doubt, he's always heard us. He always had a solution whenever we were at loggerheads. I mean, two institutions are coming together. Trust me, there are a lot of points in which we have different opinions, but we have very amicably conciliated and resolved it. Professor Dr. Sairam Bhatt, my mentor and guide, as I mentioned, has always been the pillar of strength and behind us throughout the competition. Professor Manoj Kumar, Professor Mahesh, the coordinator of the ADR cell from KD Law College, Professor Prasad, Associate Professor from B.M. Salgaonkar Law College, Professor B.S. Patil, who I think had to leave because of his work commitments, but he has been a guide in the last few days of the entire competition. Professor Ratnakar, Professor Zenia, Professor Nathela, Professor Khushi Freeman, and of course, Professor Vishnu Prasad. Thank you for your guidance and your support in the last 2 days. I do understand in the last 2 days we have been running around a lot. And at some times I think we weren't at the same page, especially yesterday when a lot of things were happening. I apologize for that, but trust me, it was for the benefit of the competition. My entire team from CEDA, led by Mr. Rohit Kamath, who was also one of the major persons to draft the entire problem statement. So it's not just me alone. The confidential information that was shared, I'll come to it a little later. Advocate Gayatri Girish, my former colleague Gayatri KK, who is now a faculty at KD Law School, my friend Mr. Vikas, Ashwarya Jain, and the entire family from CEDA, National Law School, and KLE. I extend my deepest gratitude to you all. Just a couple of more minutes. This was the faculty from both the sides and the administrative staff. Now, the organizing committee from KD Law School. Not many of you know this. 2 months back, the convener of the ADR cell of KD Law School met with an accident and she was bedridden. Today, she is here, Via Jayaraj. She anchored the entire competition on her shoulders. So a huge round of applause for her. Convener, Mr. Ahish. A huge round of applause for him as well. And now my man Friday. I have been running around, but I was a little more visible, but there were many other people who were running around left, right, and center. I will take the names and what they did. So, Akash, all the confidential information that has kept you on your toes, the credit goes to Mr. Ved, and he has been behind his laptop, brainstorming since day before yesterday night until today early morning. I was behind his slide to get me a perfect confidential information. And the final confidential information is a CI that I did not make a single edit. It is completely a credit to him. Rajat for handling the judges along with Mahesh sir. But yes, the amount of holdings and the amount of times I've yelled at him in the past 2 days, now when you see me, I don't think I look like a person who yells, but the OC knows how much I've yelled at them. Prateek as well. Now, Kirtana, Jia, Akshara, all of them who have been the pillar of strength for the entire organizing committee. Special mention to one person, Rahul, who was taking care of the accommodation. By far, he was one person who was not visible at all in the past 2 days. But one thing, he took care of the entire accommodation, and all of us here know what he has done. The amount of calls he has had till midnight 3 a.m. Yesterday night, we were having dinner at 10:30. He got a call and he left for the accommodation. So that was his dedication to ensure that the faculty, they don't fall or they are not in trouble, or rather they do not take the tension of the entire accommodation. And he single-handedly spoke every language that he could, Kannada, Hindi, English, to convince the participants that this is the best that we can offer you, and he has handled it in the best possible manner. The student volunteers and everyone, if I miss out on anyone's name, please, I apologize well in advance. Manmohan, Harusha, Yash, Yashish, Gautam, Yamini, Vachan, Kaman, Shreya, Arjun Menon, Shreyas, Vasavraj, all of you, thank you so much for your support. A competition like this, hosting 24 teams in your college who are traveling all across, all of them will have certain expectations. We all come with certain expectations when we come for a competition. The organizing committee, trust me, tries its level best to at least pacify each one of you. But at some points, if we fell short, I'm sorry for that, but trust me, we did try our level best. And at the end, I wish to see you all in the next edition. All the best for your future endeavors, and thank you for patiently listening to me. Thank you so much.
Thanking is such a please, sir. Thanking is such a pleasurable, joyous, and onerous job. At times, we fail to perform it flawlessly, and there was one such flaw. My dear friend, Professor Patil has been with us throughout, and for 3 days he is here. I forgot to take the name because he is my best friend. I took that liberty. Thank you very much for your presence and cooperation for over 3 weeks, I believe. And I would like to take this opportunity of presenting a bouquet as a token of expression of thanks and respect. Please come over. I would like to personally present it. Thank you.
Yeah, we are through. Yes, sir. Yes, thank you.